This is a comment about some of the comments, which I rarely comment, but since some folks have chosen to be obviously demonic, therefore it's not their fault. So I'm here just to share a beautiful message of hope, unconditional love, and peace. To all of the haters out there, God bless you. Pray for your enemies. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And remember, when I see you on the street, if you slap me in the face, I will turn the other cheek. But if I feel that second cheek stinging, you better run. So hey, Hollywood, now that you know you've been infiltrated by the homeland folks, and you also know you've been infiltrated by the devil, my question to y'all is, are you ready to be infiltrated by the ghost?
For those of you all who might be unaware, the man in the clip you just watched is Stephen Baldwin, Alec Baldwin's brother, Hailey Bieber's father, Justin Bieber's father-in-law, and for a while now, he's been putting out these weird, quirky videos accusing Hollywood of being satanic and demonic, talking about his time in Hollywood and the evil things he's seen. And a lot of people kind of just dismiss everything he says, and they say he's crazy. But isn't it funny that every time one of these actors or singers or one of these famous people come out, every time one of these famous people come out and acknowledge how wicked Hollywood is, they're labeled as crazy. They're labeled as psychotic or on drugs or one of these things. But has it ever occurred to anyone that maybe the reason why these people are crazy or appear to be crazy or act crazy is because of the stuff they witnessed, the stuff that they were exposed to, the stuff that they went through in Hollywood? And when you get to peek behind the curtains and see how evil the world can really be, it shakes you to your core. I think people like us, we sit here and talk about the evils. But most of us, luckily we haven't experienced it ourselves, or we haven't witnessed it ourselves, or we haven't had that 100% confirmation about what's going on. So for a lot of people who are in Hollywood, who have made it to a certain level in life and they get to peek behind the curtain, I think a lot of them, they can't handle it. It shakes up their entire world, their worldview, their perspective on everything. So when we accuse these people of being crazy simply because they're exposing Hollywood, I think we need to keep that in mind. That, yeah, maybe they are a little crazy. And when it comes to Stephen Baldwin, a lot of people write him off, or they write people off who act like him, but I try not to do that. Because, yeah, sometimes they have these coherent ramblings and stuff like that. But if you listen and if you just pay attention, they often drop little truth bombs. But we're not really even here today to talk about Stephen Baldwin, because we've talked about him before. I've put out prior videos about some of the things that he's been saying recently. We're actually here to talk about Stephen Baldwin's brother, Alec Baldwin's other brother, Daniel Baldwin. Because now he is speaking out about the evils and wickedness of Hollywood as well. And he's talking about people drinking blood, all types of stuff. So, you know, when I saw just one Baldwin speaking out and I saw how kind of weird he was acting, you know, I've been listening, but I haven't been hopping on everything he says. But now we have a whole nother Baldwin. We have two Baldwins now that are exposing Hollywood. And these people are connected to Hollywood directly. They're a part of Hollywood. They've been in the movies and the TV shows. And this guy is, I guess, now feeling comfortable enough to start speaking out about this stuff, as his other brother's been speaking out over, the recent, I would say about a year or two now. So I want to go ahead and roll the clip of what Daniel Baldwin had to say. But before I do that, people often ask, how can they support the channel? And the answer to that question is very simple. You can support the channel by simply hitting that like button, dropping a comment below, and sharing this video on social media. It's totally free, and it only takes 1 second. But if you want to take your support one step further, you could always drop a super thanks or send a cash app. It's always greatly appreciated. But with that being said, let's go ahead and roll this clip of what Daniel Baldwin had to say, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
When I first started acting, I would hear, and I won't say names, but terrible, like, they were drinking blood and they were doing, just crazy stuff that I was about to say something I don't want to say. Hollywood is a very sinful place. There are people that have been fed a lot of money, a lot of power, and they do some incredibly bad things, really bad stuff. There's some stuff that I saw, some stuff that I heard a lot from very dependable sources that tell me, oh my gosh, I was at a party when blah, 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 blah did this. And I'm like, really? Right in the living room? Yep. But no, I don't think we were winning the war against evil. I think we're pulling up neck and neck now. It's out there for us to look at, and I think more people are paying attention.
When I see stuff like this, and when I see like famous actors or people connected to Hollywood coming out and speaking like this after years of being connected to Hollywood, I often ask, and the first question that is on my mind is, why now? What possessed you to just now start speaking out about this stuff if you've had the knowledge for years? Are people just getting to that age where they just say, screw it, I'm not hiding this stuff anymore? Are people more comfortable speaking out about stuff like this now because now it's not as big of a secret as it used to be? Are people speaking out now because of, stuff like Diddy getting arrested and stuff like that? They realize, hey, Hollywood's falling apart. Let me go ahead and get ahead of this. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I kind of knew about all of this stuff. Maybe even I partook in some of this stuff. But now that I realize that the foundation is crumbling and the house of cards is going to collapse, let me go ahead and separate myself from Hollywood and start speaking out about Hollywood before all is revealed, before all is exposed, before I go down with the burning ship. Because, ladies and gentlemen, there's no denying that Hollywood is a burning ship. Hollywood is a burning ship, ladies and gentlemen. There's more people sitting at home watching YouTube videos like mine as opposed to actually going to the movies and stuff these days. And no one's hardly watching TV. These streaming services are failing. So Hollywood is burning to the ground and everything's being exposed. They brought it on themselves with all of the BS movies they've been putting out lately and the woke agendas, if you want to call it that, they've been injecting into these movies. But let me not go into a rant about that. But yeah, part of me just wonders why now. Forgive me, I'm getting kind of sick. I wonder, like, are you separating yourself from Hollywood, like I just explained? Or does it have something to do, at least in this situation, does it have something to do with what Alec Baldwin just went through? With the whole Rust ordeal, which, by the way, I still don't feel right about that entire situation. We're not going to go there in this video, but I still have questions about that entire situation. But I do think it's weird that after Alec Baldwin went through that, all of a sudden, Alec Baldwin's brothers start coming out and speaking out about the evils of Hollywood. So part of me wonders, is this directly tied to each other? Did you start calling out Hollywood once Alec Baldwin went through this situation? Is there something that we don't know behind the scenes that, inspired you to speak out now? I don't know. You just wonder. And then another thing that's on my mind is at this point, Alec Baldwin, you are still deeply connected to Hollywood. You're still all up in Hollywood. You're still doing the movies. You're still going on Saturday Night Live. You're doing the whole rounds and all of that. How long can you keep living that Hollywood lifestyle while ignoring the fact that you now have two brothers saying that Hollywood is satanic, that the lifestyle is satanic, and people are drinking blood and doing all types of weird, evil things behind the scenes? I think at some point Alec Baldwin has to acknowledge the elephant in the room, right? He's not responsible for the things that his brothers say online. I'm not saying that, but damn, dude, you're sitting here, still pursuing that Hollywood fame that you should have kind of gave up on years ago, but you're still here pursuing it. You're still trying to be that guy. You still refuse to separate yourself from Hollywood. You're going down with the sinking ship, and your brothers are calling it out, and you're just acting like that's not happening. All of these people who interview Alec Baldwin and stuff, I wish they would mention that. Ask this dude how he feels about what his brothers are saying. And then it part of me makes me wonder, is this all an act coming from his brothers? Because, you're connected to Alec Baldwin. Y'all are still speaking. Is he part of the evil stuff going on in Hollywood? Or is he separated from that? So, yeah, I just got a lot of questions, right? Because it's weird when you have a Hollywood family. Because the Baldwins, they're a Hollywood family, right? And you got half the family saying Hollywood is evil, satanic. They're sacrificing people and drinking blood. And then you got brothers that are still in Hollywood doing active movie roles and TV shows. So it's hey, dude, I don't know. If you're calling out Hollywood for being satanic, are you saying that your brother is satanic too? So it's just a weird situation playing out that I thought I would bring to your attention. If Daniel Baldwin says anything else, I'll let you guys know. But for now, you guys let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.